The lighting is strange, it is a race against the clock. The sun is setting in 15 minutes, but I have decided on the whim, that I would like to film a video to announce a TBR, so I apologise for the strange lighting. Hi guys, my name is Kirsty, welcome back to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be talking about my TBR for an upcoming readathon that I have pretty much just decided I'm going to participate in. You may or may not have heard of it, and that is the Shelf Love Crate Readathon. It is a subscription box that I am not subscribed to, but I've seen a bunch of people who are promoting it, blah blah blah, and I got sucked in and I decided that I want to do it. So it is happening over the next fortnight basically. Today, as I am filming, it is a Wednesday, so this coming Monday, the 7th of, no not the 7th of May, the 13th of May I believe, the readathon is starting. And it'll be going from the 13th to 27th of May. I'm just going to fact check myself there because I bet I'm wrong. Yeah, so May 13th to 27th, and it is a fantasy readathon, and it is somewhat inspired and I guess interpreted, I don't know, inspired from their particular box that's happening for that month, whatever. Point aside is, I thought it looked like a fun readathon, and I haven't done a readathon for a while. So I have 9 books that I'm going to show you. This is a 12 challenge readathon, and I will now read out to you all of the challenges so you know what they are. I'll also put them in the description down below, but I'm not going to read all of these, but I've been on such a reading boost the last few weeks. I've finished so many books. I'm currently reading The Ruin of Kings. This is a that's why it looks so strange. I've got 100 pages left to go in this one, so I'm actually really impressed that I managed to plow through this. And then before the readathon starts, I'm also planning on reading Navigating the Stars by Maria V. Snyder. So I've got a lot of reading planned. If I manage to read all of my TBR for this readathon, I will have probably never in my life have read as much as I am planning on reading. But I also have like 30% faith in myself that I can do it, but what's the point of making a TBR if not to make it ridiculously ambitious and have fun with it? So the 12 challenges are as follows. Number 1 is Written in the Stars, and that has to be a book set in space. Number 2 is Romance Reboot with Cyborgs. Number 3 is Let the Games Begin with a trial/tournament. Number 4 is Unlikely Heroes, characters from opposite worlds. Number 5 is Life in the Shadows with an outbreak. Number 6 is Magic and Mischief with magical creatures. Number 7 is Sibling Rivalries with sisters. Number 8 is Feats of Illusion, characters with untapped potential. Number 9 is Squad Goals, multiple perspectives. Number 10 is Warrior Women, Viking characters. Number 11 is Take Back the Throne with royalty. Number 12 is Saints and Sinners with Star-Crossed Lovers. So there's lots of different things that you can do. It was a lot of thinking to come up with my TBR, but alas, I am just skipping 3 of them. I will be skipping Romance Reboot with Cyborgs because I couldn't think of a single book that I want to read. In fact, the only book I could think of was Cinder, and I don't want to read that right now. I'm also not going to be doing Sibling Rivalries with Sisters because I couldn't think of anything that had sisters in it that I was planning on reading. And I won't be doing the Vikings one because that particular challenge is to do with the book that's coming out in that subscription box for this month or whatever it is. And I don't think I have any Viking books. So I'm doing the other 9. We're going to see how we go. If I don't finish Navigating the Stars before the readathon starts, this will be my first read because it is also set in space. But if everything goes as planned, this is my TBR. For my book set in space, I will be reading This Splintered Silence by Kayla Olson. I have been wanting to read this book for ages. Since it came out at the end of last year, I've had my eyes on it. I waited months for my pre-order to come in because there was a massive stock problem with this book in Australia and you just couldn't get a copy and it was super frustrating. But this one was also in space, on a spaceship where the first generation people in this spaceship are killed by a virus, and the daughter of what was the captain has now taken over, and she's starting to see symptoms in the new generation, the younger generation, of the plague or whatever it was that killed people again, but they were supposed to be immune to it. So it's sort of a murder mystery to think there's some sort of sabotage going on. So I think this will be really exciting. It is YA fantasy. It is 357 pages long. It is not long. I think this is a very doable goal. I haven't worked out if I'm reading 9 books in 14 divided by 9. I have to finish a book every day and a half to do this, so when you put it like that, it seems suddenly very unachievable, but that's fine. If I can finish half of these books, that would still be impressive for me. So we're just gonna pick and choose, and I'm not gonna necessarily do this in the order of these things, but I'll just see what I feel like. I will then be skipping number 2, moving on to number 3, which is Let the Games Begin, with a trial/tournament. This one I've sort of interpreted a bit loosely, and I'll be doing First Life by Gina Showalter. This one is all about there being like an afterlife, which like the character discovers. I don't know if it's even an afterlife, I'm not sure I've quite grasped the concept of this book, but it's basically set on the thing where your first life that you lived wasn't the real deal is what comes next. And I think there are 2 different realms or something like that that they can choose between. It sounded enough like a trial that I've decided to read it. This will be working towards one of my goals for 2019 because my sister gave me this book for Christmas, which brings me to another point as to why I want to do this, is because my birthday is the 27th of May, which is when this finishes. So if I can finish all 9 of these books, which are predominantly geared towards finishing off Christmas gifts, then that will set me up at a good spot for getting books for my birthday and having actually read what people have given me before. So I have extra motivation here. But yep, that will be challenge number 3 for me. It is another YA, I guess sci-fi or fantasy, I actually don't know. And it is 437 pages long, so this one's a little bit longer, but it's got pretty big font, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, so fingers crossed. Number 4 is Unlikely Heroes, Characters from Opposite Worlds. This one's even more loosely interpreted because I will be reading Sorcerer to the Crown. I have basically taken the theme of there being 2 unlikely characters put together because that is what is going to happen in this one. This one is it's set in Regency London, and there are people with magic, and there's the fairy court, and the 2 characters are a girl with magic, and I think another guy. They get thrown together. What do they actually have to do? Wow, the character in this is called Prunella. So it's an interesting blurb for this one because it's the idea of the fairy court supplying England with magic. So we've got an African royal sorcerer, and then we have someone who is almost a street urchin. So Prunella is an orphan. And I think they're going to come together to do something. Honestly, this blurb, I'm really confused what they're actually doing. Yeah, okay, I actually have no idea what this book is going to be, but I was under the impression they both have a task, they will be thrown together. But it sounds interesting and a little bit diverse, so I'm really excited to read this one. Again, I'm pretty sure it's YA, like historical fantasy, and it's actually 370 pages long. It looks a little bit shorter than that. I think this one might need a little bit of motivation to push through, just because it's smaller font, bit of a denser book, so I won't feel like I'm making progress as quickly as I would with large font, but I have all of my faith that I will get this done. This was a gift from my sister at Christmas, again, so that'll be working towards those goals to getting that done. Number 5, which is Life in the Shadows with an Outbreak, sorry. I'm going to be reading Autobiography by Christina Lauren. I sort of interpreted that as the whole closeted thing, especially because this one, when someone who is almost ready to come out of the closet, they move states into Utah, which is quite a religious state in America, and he's suddenly like quite closeted, quite firmly, and so I'm picking this one for that one. Whatever. I'm going to do what I want to do. I think this will be really exciting. This was a gift from my uncle for Christmas, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I have no doubt that this will be an easy read. It's pretty much just 400 pages long, so I think it'll be a nice binge-worthy contemporary. Number 6 is Magic and Mischief with Magical Creatures, and for that I've picked Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri, which my parents gave me for Christmas, and this one is a 400-page book as well. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I think I might leave this one a little bit more towards last, because whilst I'm really excited to read it, I'm not sure how quickly I'll get through it. It feels like a denser fantasy, and those are just full stop always harder to power through. So if anyone else has read this and can tell me whether it is a quick read or not, I would be grateful to hear that. And then skipping challenge 7, which is the Sister Rivalry, and moving on to 8, which is Feats of Illusion. This one, I don't know if this book really fits it, but I'm assuming it will because it's set in a circus, and that is Pantomime by Laura Lamb. I've heard nothing about this book, but the main character is a hermaphrodite who joins the circus, and there's just all sorts of diversity in this book that I've really not come across before. I'm really excited to read it. I found this one when I was travelling in Europe. I found it in Dublin. It's 386 pages long, so it's still not too long, but probably should have picked up a few graphic novels for this, but I never do, so I'm hoping I get around to this one because I've been wanting to read it for such a long time. Number 9 is Squad Goals, so it's a multiple perspective. I'm pretty sure Vicious by V.E. Schwab is a multiple perspective. Someone that's probably going to correct me and tell me it's not. I really hope it is. If it's not, that's okay. I'll probably just not get around to it, or I could swap it out. But let me know down below if it is actually a multiple perspective, but it has so many characters in it that I assumed it would probably swap between. So I think we all roughly know what this book is about. Superhero, people with powers. Everyone else has probably read it, but this was given to me by Jaden, my boyfriend, his mum for Christmas, so many books for Christmas. Hopefully I can get around to this one. Navigating the Stars was also a Christmas present from her, so I'm hoping to polish both of those off soon, but yes, please let me know if this is actually multiple perspective, because I don't know. Could just Google it, but I'm not gonna. Then I'll be skipping number 10, which is Vikings, because I don't have any Vikings, and I'll be jumping on to number 11, which is Taking Back the Throne with Royalty, and for that I will be picking up Reign the Earth by A.G. Goffin, and this is probably quite a chunky book to have picked. It's 440 pages long, but it's got really big font. I've just been wanting to read it. It was actually sent to me for Bloomsbury for review when it came out. I never got around to reading it. Heard nothing but great things for it, so I don't think this will take me long to read. I just have a good feeling that this will be binge worthy. Would love to know below though if you think this is a quick or a slow read. And the last book that I'll be reading is for number 12, which is Star-Crossed Lovers, and that one I have chosen What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, with its lovely yellow spine. Star-Crossed Lovers because it's about two gay men that are coming together. I'm not even sure how they meet. They meet at the post office. I don't know, it seemed fitting, so I'm gonna go with that. Just some sort of romance with a little bit of an obstacle in the way. So looking forward to reading that. Know that this will be a really quick read because both Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera are such binge-worthy authors. It is 430 pages long, however, so it is on the longer side, but it's also one of the last challenges. So I will try and prioritize these in order of what I think will be the quickest reads and what I feel like reading that day. But I think whatever I do, I'm just not going to start with Empire of Sand because I think that will be the book that I will struggle with the most, but I'm not sure. So that is my TBR for the... I've forgotten what the readathon's called. Bookshelf Love? No, Shelf Love Crate. So that's my readathon for the Shelf Love Crate readathon. I am not planning on vlogging this readathon as I usually do, simply because it's going for 2 weeks and that's a bit too long. I don't know if I'll do a sort of recap at the end of each of the weeks or something like that, or maybe a little mini check-in review as I finish each of the books. We will see how I go, but fingers crossed I can do this, because if I can finish 9 books, or 11 books including the ones I'm going to be reading this week in the run-up to the readathon, I will be so proud of myself, but I bet I finished like 3. That's usually how it goes. So let me know down in the comments below if you're going to be participating, if you're reading any of these books for your challenges, or what books you are reading for your challenges, and I will speak to you in my next video. Goodbye!